Good evening, everyone. Jose J Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. Got another Sunday night coaching series for all of y'all. We're going to do this a little bit differently. Early starting on doing some coachings, doing a lot of setting up for this week. We got a lot of deals. Stay tuned for Tuesday, definitely. We're going to have a lot more inventory, but we'll talk about that towards the end. So what I want to do tonight is do a Q&A. I know y'all been asking for one, and you keep sending your questions. I know our admins, our reps, they're responding to your emails, which is great. Where I can try to squeeze videos, some shorts, some reels. The goal is to answer a question for everybody. If you're asking a question, sooner or later, another investor may need to know the same. So I want to make sure we answer so that everybody has, their answers, their questions answered. And if you follow our social media, you go back to our YouTube, you probably can find a video on just about any question you may have when it comes to mobile home investing related. So go check those out. We do have special coachings, one-on-one, some that are already recorded. You can purchase directly from GarciaMHU.com also. But we're here to help. We're here to add value and be part of, obviously, growing this community. We succeed together, we win together, we stick together. Remember that. But a few announcements are going to be at the end. So let's get started. What I did was, from all the emails I'm seeing, and our admins, our reps, they are qualified to answer your questions, by the way. Some of you asked for, well, make sure you ask Jay. They will. They will run anytime that a question comes into one of our admins and they're uncertain. They will either respond to you, as in we will check with Mr. Garcia, or they'll follow up with you after they do check with me. So you're getting the answers best to our knowledge, if you will. But what I did was I took 10 of the questions that I thought stood out the most, and many times the way I grade those is how in-depth the question may be, what specific the question may be on, or if it's a question that is constantly being asked over and over. Multiple investors are basically asking the same question. Okay, that's one that we pick. So I'm going to just go down the line in some of that. Now, our social media, we have 5 Facebook groups with the GarciaMHU.com, and they're all for investing. I'll list them later on. I can probably put a link on the bottom of this description so you can join those, be part of those Facebook groups as well, because you should be. You should be adding every Facebook group that's related to what you're doing so that you can post, you can look for deals, you can connect, you can network. You see what I mean? So, and we've been posting a lot more interactive ads, post kind of thing to really engage the community. And that's where some of the questions are coming in. So they stood out. They stood out for me. I said, put that one on the sheet. Put that one on the sheet. I want to answer it. And some of these were more so remarks as to, a question. What is one of the struggles that you are having with mobile home investing, or finding deals or leads or that sort of thing? And so people started posting. I love that. Keep doing it. Interactive. Again, if you can't, when you have a question, you can help many people, because a lot more people may have the same question. So nothing more being said. Let's jump on into it. So I want to buy and sell mobile homes, but have no money to get started. So I do remember and I'm not going to call nobody out. I'm not calling any names, not calling anybody out. That this is for educational purposes. We're here to help. So you don't need money to start investing in mobile homes. Now, okay, that's one of those phrases that you hear a lot with the whole real estate. You hear with all these kind of investments. So let me go a little bit more into it, okay? To start investing in mobile homes with no money down, you can do so by being one or two. And I would do both, by the way. Bird dogging, which means you're finding leads, you're finding deals, you're connecting a buyer, a seller, etc., and you're getting paid for your time, right? That's basically, you're engaging in that community. You're engaging with owners, sellers, that sort of thing, and really scoping it. That's going to help you in the end, by the way. When you do have your own money, your own capital, now you know how to find leads. You've already made connections, okay? So it's like a good start to it. Then you can also do wholesale, traditional wholesale. Now, wholesaling may take a small deposit. I'll share with you, I do not put deposits on my wholesales. That's just the way that I do. I may put $1 worth to make it legal, but it doesn't mean I actually hand $1 over. Well, if they want it, I guess. But it's part of your credibility. All in all, is that you're also, you're doing this business. You're growing this. The more you're doing it, the more people know you. The more you do well by others. That's reputable and credible that will build you. But wholesaling is one that you could start as well. Wholesaling is, and I'm not going to break down what wholesaling is. Go watch your other YouTube videos. But it's basically you are taking on a mobile home and you're putting it under a contract, under agreement in sense of purchasing. But it's an assignable contract that you can sell. meaning you mark it up from whatever you agreed upon and you make the profits in between, the difference of, if you will. So those are two ways you can start. Okay, let's move on. Too many then there was this other one, almost back to back. Too many deals available, not enough hard or private money lenders. So one can't get any deals because they think there's a deficiency with money, and the other one has too many deals but not enough money. And I commented on this one directly. There is no shortage of money. I'll repeat that. There is no shortage of capital, of money, of lenders, whether they're private, hard money, investors, etc. What there is a lack of, and it shouldn't be either, is good deals. But it's not so much of the good deals that are out there or lack of, it's how you are presenting it. Now, I had an issue, a very, very hard issue when I first got started, because I had this mentality of, I felt like I was bothering people if I went to them for money, and I felt like that whole borrow, it just makes me cringe inside. I don't want to borrow money. It just makes me feel less than. And it took a coach, a mentor, to say to me, you are looking at this all wrong. I mean, horrible. Look at it this way. You're not asking anybody anything. If anything, you're doing them a favor. There's a lot of people out there with money, 401ks, Roth IRAs, private hard money lenders, investors that are ready to toss money at the right deal. Now, the right deal means usually ones that's most secured and ones that brings the most return on the investments. So if you can do both of those, which we do, okay, you are actually doing them a favor. You're putting their money to work, but it has to start with your pitch. I will give you this. I'll go even further, okay? I want to borrow some money so that we can invest in mobile homes. Once we sell them or we rent them or we do this, here's what I can pay you. That's basically about the way I used to say it. That's terrible, horrible. How about Mr. Investor? Could be a lender or private, whoever. I have a great opportunity for you. I just happened to stumble upon a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single wide that needs a little bit of cosmetic rehab. Now, we can be all into this project, all in, exclusive, for about $8,500 to $10,000. That includes the home, the labor, the rehab, the material. You see what I'm doing here? Credibility. Okay? Once we get done, which should take no more than about 4 to 6 weeks, we should be able to get a return if we sell it for cash for about $25,000 to $30,000. ROI of X amount. Here's what I'd be willing to pay. If you think that's a deal, something you invest in, let me know. We got collateral because the asset, which is the mobile home, backs it up. Bam! Beautiful. That's why I'm the champ. Yeah, give me the money. Okay? It's all how you pitch it. We can help you. We can definitely help you put the pitch. And it's not fake. It's real because it's there. One thing about hard, private, and any money lenders, they want to know 3 things. 1, how much money do you need? 2, how long is it going to take? 3, how much money am I getting back? Add value to all those 3, you're golden. Let's move along. Finding all-age mobile home parks that allow subleasing. That's another one, and I know who that investor is. You're doing great, by the way. Yes, you. You're doing great, okay? You're supposed to be finding me some land deals, too, so I'm waiting on those. But let's see, I'm calling people this. The thing about subleasing, and whether it's all-age mobile home parks or it's even communities, they say no investors, no subleasing, no this, no that, there's restrictions. Follow-up is key, but there's always a way in the system. And typically, like anything else, the hardest one is number 1. After that, it gets easier, and it gets easier. You see that kind of thing sort of happens. If I was going to invest in an all-age community park that's flat out told me, Jay, you're not going to sublease here. You're not going to sublease, and we're not going to allow investors to be in. Awesome, fine. Well, then I am moving in. It's me. I want you to treat me just like any other resident. That's fine. I'm going to buy the mobile home. Okay. So what I do is I buy the mobile home. I get approved by the community. I'm technically a resident. Okay. That's how they see me. Now what happens is now I'm going to rehab it. I'm doing the same thing. It's just a different startup. And I'm going to rehab it, make it beautiful. And then I decide that I want to sell it. Now, I'm a homeowner. You don't tell me when I can and can't sell. I moved in here 2 months ago. Well, it just turns out now I want to sell because I want to move somewhere else. So I'm going to sell to somebody else that you are going to approve, and I am going to get them financing. The financing happens to be me because I'm the bank. Can't say no to banks, okay? There's Wells Fargo, BB&T, Bank of America, Truist, all kinds of banks. You don't say no to them. They're simply a lender. Let's not confuse this. This way you got to be, again, you got to build that credibility. And when you do that is now at this point, you let them in, you've moved out, you're no longer a resident, and that new person moved in, it's their home, but they have a mortgage on it. Mortgage happens to be you. You can disclose it if you want. Now, I'd go back to that same community and say, hey, I know you weren't approving of that. That's basically the process we did. Be transparent, follow up. That's how we got in a lot of communities. And they're like, well, it seems to work out, but you can go ahead and do another one and another one. We got 10 now. All right, move along. Harassed by park owners and managers. That's never fun. It's never fun. But it has to be, I'm not an attorney. Cannot give anyone legal advice. All advice here given is for educational purposes only. May I list? But what I would say, there's rules, there's regulations. And don't forget that outside of communities, there's county rules, there's landlord rules, there's state rules. And just because you're a community operator, owner, or a manager does not mean you can harass people. But, I need to hear both sides of the story. Why are they harassing? Why do you think it's harassment? Something like that, I would say, nice gets you further than trying to fight fire with fire. But if it gets so escalated at a point where there is actual harassment, then file a report. That's all that can be done. Nothing to be fighting on. So, lot rent too high. Well, the beautiful thing about mobile homes is that they're mobile. If I have a mobile home inside of a community that the lot rent just continues to go up, which we've seen quite a few, guess what I'm going to do with my mobile homes? I'm going to move them. I'm going to move them from Park A to Park B, where it's half the lot rent, and I'm going to create an agreement with Park B. I will bring my mobile home here. I'm obviously doing you a great service. We're working partner up, but I need you to keep the lot rent the same for the next 2-3 years. And I'll make sure my home stays here for the next 2-3 years. Get it out of where it's at, okay? Or just, sell what you got there and start over elsewhere. No closing realtor agents in North Georgia. I thought that was interesting of a question, because you're trying to work with a realtor agent to do your closings, and typically, unless you're in Florida, parts of California, New York, over in Washington, realtor brokers typically do not get involved with mobile homes. Maybe mobile homes with land or parks, but not mobile homes inside of communities, because as they see it, there's not enough. Okay, I'm going to make it layman's term. There's not enough money. But basically, too many issues. They're not aware, and most realtors in our areas don't really know mobile homes. Okay, so stop looking for them. You don't need them. You can do your own due diligence. Send us another email. We'll help you do a closing if you need. Locating homeowners. That one I took because it's a little vague, but I thought, well, if you're trying to look for homeowners, as in somebody with land, park owners, you skip tracing, you got different sources. But if it's just somebody inside the community, reach out to the park manager, reach out to the neighbors. Somebody knows of somebody that lives there can connect you. Remember, these are mobile home communities. They all communicate, okay? Finding good contractors. I kept that on there more for humor. I'm going to leave that one for last. Best source to connect with off-market deals. Social media. Advertising, the whole spiel I give y'all. The same thing we coach you on. Lesson number 1 is brand, market, and advertising, which you have to do over and over. Consistency is key. Hashtag, right? You cannot do one type of advertisement. Hey, I posted for We Buy Mobile Homes 2 weeks ago. I got no leads. No kidding. Doesn't work that way. You got to be steady. You got to be consistent. The best source is to use social media. And that's the next question, as a matter of fact, and it's Craigslist, Let Go, OfferUp, Classified, Facebook Marketplace. Those are the leading one. Nextdoor, that's another one we're using now. Craigslist ads you mentioned using all get removed. Haters. Somebody who is jealous of you, doesn't like you, sees you as competition, they flag you and keep flagging you. How do you overcome that? You just overcome them with posts. We post so many ads, and when I say consistency, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, twice in the morning, 3 in the evening, every week. That's how much we're doing. And we're doing double of that on Facebook, triple on that on other sources, and I mean, it's consistency key. If you're posting 1 or 2 and they're flagging you, change up a little bit. Now, one thing that could be happening is algorithm possibly triggered, which means that if you are posting the same ad and just copy and exactly pasting on different cities, different areas, it could catch Craigslist as it's a spam. It's basically what it's doing. So try those out and see if it works. Last but not least, before a couple announcements, it's finding good contractors. You get what you pay for. I'm going to say that, okay? I have had many, many good contractors. I've had some very great contractors, and I've had some contractors that were not good. Okay. And I've had some good contractors that last good for a while, and then just, I don't know what happens. They just, life happens. They become not so good, and we got to replace them. The great contractors that we have, they all moved away. They worked for us for years. And after a while, they moved to other states, and, not other states where we're working on yet. Maybe we'll in the future. We'll reconnect with them. But the best source, again, is social media. But it's something in LinkedIn that I would say take your time. Don't rush. Don't just hire anybody. Never pay up front, okay? And we teach you this. I'm going to cover a little bit of this in the shadow in the announcement here in a minute, but you could visit the local home improvement stores. One thing about good contractors, great contractors, they're always busy. They're always working because they're good and great. Somebody's always hiring them. They always stay busy. And they also start early in the morning. You kind of see they have that discipline going for them. So if you visit something like a Home Depot or a Lowe's 6, 7 in the morning on a weekday or weekend, and those contractors that are picking tons of material up, those are the good ones. Go get the numbers, okay? All right, announcements. So a couple of announcements coming. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that on this Tuesday night, 7 p.m., we continue the Let's Do Deals off-market mobile home deals. We got more inventory, more deals, more opportunities. We are rehabbing left and right. We got contractors, students, investors that are doing the same. Phenomenal. I'm seeing these guys that attended the last shadow event, they are killing it. I'm happy to see the results, and we will be sharing some of those. We may even have a couple of those guys come and join us on some of these calls and talk about some of their success. They learned, they educated themselves, they listened to what I coach them, and they're implementing, which makes a difference, okay? The next shadow event is my last shadow event for a while, if not for good, and it's because we're expanding, we're growing, we're getting into more mobile home parks, we're buying a lot more land, we're developing land, transitioning personal property, mobile homes into real property. All in all, for us to scale and grow, be nationwide within the next 5 years, we have to focus on the growth. We have to focus on the deals, the connections, etc. And that can only happen if we put certain things to a halt or to a stop for a while. Unfortunately, one of those is the coaching that we're going to have to put for a while. I didn't want to just cold turkey cut it off. I want to do one more shadow for those of you that been talking about joining for the past 17 years, 7 years. I haven't been around that long, 7 years, and want to join us because I do want to take it. Now I'm going to go all out on this shadow event. This is up to you to join me because seats will fill up. 30 seats is what I have agreed at this time to allow. Typically we cut it off at 15 to 20, and the reason is because I like to keep it personal. But I'm going to allow 30 seats this time around, and it's going to be full blast education. Getting leads, getting off-market deals, how to talk to sellers, how to make offers. What is a maximum allowed offer, MAO, in a mobile home? If I go and visit one of these fixer-uppers, how do I know the value? How do I comp it? How do I know what to offer? We're going to teach you that. That's the biggest mistake investors make when they're new, especially, and that's that you're overpaying because you don't know the value. You're just guesstimating some random number. Exit strategies, rentals, lease options, rent-to-owns, okay, creative financing, wholesaling, flipping, Airbnb, Section 8s. We teach you all these strategies there, okay? And eventually all of you investors should be doing them all. Every one of those sources is one more stream of income. Use it, maximize it. You should be getting paid daily, twice on Sunday, okay? Contractors, we're going to have contractors there to answer all y'all's questions. Park managers, park owners. We got Chris, our insurance agent, who's going to be there to talk about insurance policies, how to protect your assets, okay? A lot of people think insurance is expensive for mobile homes, okay? It is not, and I assure you the protection that you get, it's phenomenal. So we got guest speakers that I'm going to have there as well. Got a couple guest speakers. I want more people to come in, speak, and add value. That's what we do this here for. So again, we didn't even boost the price of the shadow, by the way. We kept it as is. Just set me another date. Tell me where it's going to be. We're going to do it. It's going to be in Central Georgia. Now, 2 weeks from the event, we'll let you know the location. Most likely Warner Robins, maybe Griffin, maybe Thomaston. We will give you that location for those of you that attend. We'll send you obviously details, where to fly in, etc. Okay, so definitely send us an email if you're interested in that. j@garciamhu.com. And the next Saturday, of course, the 10 a.m. live mobile home investing check-in call continues. that does it all for this evening. Thank you all for joining me on here. Great Q&A, good questions. Keep those questions coming. We'll put a lot more ads this week, but we definitely look forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you for watching.